Starting, I think it's on. Is it on yet? Nah, it still ain't
Yep.
started. Yeah, I bet.
No, good.
Yeah.
So what's up,
All right.
man?
What's going on, man? It's been a minute, man. Last time I seen you was that was at Evolve? Was it Evolve? It was at
Yeah,
Evolve,
man.
right?
It's probably evolved in 2016. I think that was Cody's debut. So August of
Yeah.
2016.
So much has changed since then in wrestling. Remember, I remember we was talking about like, man, how you think Cody gonna do on the Indies? And I was like, man, I don't know, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think he that. Boy, I was wrong like a motherfucker about Cody, man. I can't. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
yeah. He turned out all right. He did okay for himself.
I feel like this in terms of a wrestler, he's okay, but in terms of what he managed to do and be a part of, I give him all credit, and his wife fine too, so I give.
Yeah, I buried my beef with him on that. He
She
loves her.
bad.
Good for him.
Yeah, she bad, man. I can't even hate on her, man. She say some stuff that be kind of catching me off guard. You know what I'm saying? Like
Uh,
she a little strange, but it's like I don't know her that well. You know what I'm saying? I ain't really meet her. I think I met her like once, but I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't know her that well, so I can't speak on her. I just know she's fine. That's all that matters to me. Like if she
yeah,
fine, hey, that's it. Yeah.
exactly. It was cool to me when I met him. So all power to him.
That's
I'm happy
right,
for
because
both of
I
us.
want to say you and my man's y'all both got to meet Cody or y'all stayed in line that day. I want to was that the day? I feel like it was there because it was the MCW arena, right? And
Yeah, they was at the
yeah,
MCW
yeah,
arena. Yeah.
yeah. Okay, now it's coming back to me. Okay, yeah. Because
Yeah.
I've been to so many events up there. I'm forgetting which one is which.
Yeah. It's a good little spot. I didn't realize it was so close to me, man. I was down there in about 90 minutes. So it was,
Yeah, when you told me that, I was like, damn. I was like, and I thought about it though. I'm like, I rode from Aberdeen once to Philly and probably like an hour and some change, and I was like, my man live at Aberdeen, so I was like, all right, well, I'm thinking, yeah, I was like, yeah, it makes sense then. You know what I'm saying? 90 minutes ain't that, you know what I'm saying? Ain't that far, so it definitely made sense. Shit, that's a bop. That's a little bop. That ain't no
exactly.
heavy ride.
As soon as we get back into, we get some sense of normalcy, I'm gonna try to get back down there once they start, running shows again and whatnot. So
It's coming. It's coming, man. SummerSlam is looking like it's going to be in New York, is what they saying. And if SummerSlam is in New York, I mean, granted, that's not MCW, not what I'm saying, not Evolve. But I mean, them shits. I don't even know how they running right now. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know how the Indies is. I don't even know how they running. So uh, I haven't heard too much about MCW.
no, I don't think they're running. It's just been crazy. Like the little people that have been able to run, they're just trying to survive off of doing stuff in empty arenas and DVDs and whatever. It's crazy. So
Yeah, in the Carolinas right now, man, I'm gonna tell you, like they running right now. You know what I'm saying? Like I seen people that I used to, what I'm saying, work with and be around, like they doing regular shows. Like
like
regular shows. And
PWX
it's
is
like
running.
you and PWX is running. They got Swole coming, Swole coming back down there. They running in South Carolina because
Oh,
restrictions probably different in South Carolina, but they run every month. And I seen they had a show, and I was gonna stop through there because I was heading down south, and I was like, man, I'll probably stop through, see what's good. And but then I saw pictures of the last show, and I was like, oh no, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Like they ain't had nobody had no mask on. Like they was
yeah.
like packed in tight. They weren't distanced at all. I was like, nah, I'm cool, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm good on that.
I I'm not fucking with that until I mean, I got this cruise, the AEW cruise, that might or might not happen in October. If that happens in October, that's when that'll be my first wrestling deal. Like, I'll be honest, I didn't get vaccinated until I got my second shot on the 31st of March, right?
Yeah.
So I wasn't within my 2 weeks to go to Mania. I think had I been in within my 2 weeks or after my 2 weeks, I should say, I would have tried to go. But
I'm a if SummerSlam is in New York, I'm gonna do SummerSlam because I got a whole I told somebody I said, hey man, like if we back outside, we back outside. So if people back outside, like everybody knows invited me. I mean I got a Florida trip. Uh I got a Florida trip that I plan on doing, which I might, sneak into Daly's place if AEW still running in there and give me a ticket or two. I might, you know what I'm saying? And I'm cool with guys, that they're on there. So it's like I've been asked to go to A. I mean, I went to the first AEW Dynamite. I went to that when I went to the Full Gear when they did it, so I got to see that, and I got to finally see that right before, of course, the pandemic hit. Like I got to
Exactly.
see it. So it pissed me off when we weren't able to go to see the live shows anymore because I was like, man, Brody Lee had came and then Matt Hardy came to AW, like, and all these people started making it. I'm like, man, you know how crazy that would have been with a crowd? Like, we'd have
Yep.
been
Exactly.
crazy. And
Exactly.
so it's wild because I haven't had a lot of time to sit down and watch wrestling. Like even today, like we were just talking about, Blood and Guts is coming on,
Yep.
and I got two homeboys that's down there right now live at Blood and Guts. And I got two people trying to talk me into coming down to Double or Nothing now that they just announced they're doing full
Yep.
capacity. But I don't think I'm ready yet for full capacity. It's just
I'm
my
not.
comfort level not there yet. You know
Exactly.
what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like I
Exactly.
went to basketball games and baseball games a couple weeks ago. I went to the Wizards game when they played the Warriors, and my boy and his son, they went to see the Wizards and the Cavs, and it was maybe like 10% capacity.
Okay.
So we weren't sitting close to nobody. And so
Okay.
I felt okay with that. And then we went to the Orioles game, which is a little more capacity than the Orioles game, but it was still like we outside. We were actually outside. It was a nice day, and we just went straight to our seats and went back. So I was like, it felt a little normal again, but we not quite there yet. But I feel like if SummerSlam really do happen in New York, I might have to swing it, man. I'm thinking about it. I feel like I might have to do it. Like if I go to Florida in July, like I'm planning on, I might have to swing through AEW if they're not on the road yet, because they talking about July, August, they going back on the
Yeah.
road.
I don't know. They rushing for me, man. They
Nah,
rushing.
I agree. I agree. I think it's a little rushed, but the way I was telling somebody, I'm like, man, nothing's gonna stop these people from trying to make their money back.
That's
So
true.
you know what I'm saying? Like it's just the way it is. Like in small businesses, you know what I mean? Even out here, you know what I'm saying? Like a couple of my guys, they small businesses suffered and stuff like that. And it's just like government ain't really helped people out like like they really were supposed to, especially if you shutting somebody's business down for 3 months, and you got to at least give them something to supplement something, and not just the owners, the workers too. So it wasn't really a lot being done. So I figured, I'm like, man, people probably like, well, we ain't, what else we gonna do? Might as well get our money. Might as well try to get our money, which is the sad part of America that we living in. Is, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Exactly. Well, let's get into, while we on here, man, to talk about you and your journey in the rap game and some other topics as well. We're gonna dive back into wrestling too a little
Yeah.
bit, but from a different perspective here, in a little bit. So I guess my first question to you is because I don't know, man. Like I said, we've been, talking and whatnot, talking that shit for about like 9 years now almost or whatever. And
Yeah.
yeah, but almost 9 years. But I don't know from, you know, your journey as a rapper. How did you get into the game as far as
So
being a rapper?
so I always have two answers to that. Like I first started writing rhymes in 1998.
Okay.
1998. DMX, Cash Money, Pac, Jay Z was the four rappers, and a little bit of Nas here and there. Cause I first heard Nas is like, I already knew Nas, like If I Ruled the World and like Illmatic, I knew, but I was as a kid, so I can't dive into it. But Nas is Like was the one that I was like, yo, what is he saying on this record? And that was the one I was like, yo, I'm not ready to rap like that yet. Let me rap like Master P and Juvenile right now, because I'm like, I'm a kid, so let me rap like them. And that's when I started writing. And now I'll tell you, right, man, I was terrible the first couple of years. I was terrible, man. Like, because I wanted to be like, I wanted to be like Juvie. I want to be like BG. I wanted to be like them because I saw them and I'm like, oh, they got they look like the niggas that live down the street from me. Like they got the white tees and J's on it. Like they all doing the same thing they talking about. So I was like, man, I want to rap like that. So I was, what I'm saying? I was like 11, 12, rapping about the streets. And I was, in the midst of some of that, like I always say, like, I don't consider myself a street rapper because that's not what I want to talk about. But I like grew up around it and was in it a little bit. But like by the time I got like 15, 16, I kind of I wanted to be like I wanted to rap like Lloyd Banks. At the time, I wanted to rap like Lloyd Banks, like Dipset, G Unit, D Block, Jadakiss, Styles, like that, and that was also reflective of where I was at the time in terms of like we was outside heavy back then, man. Like we was, you know what I'm saying? Like the guys I got around me now are not the guys I was around 100% when I was 15, 16. You know what I'm saying? Like we all went to school together, like Apollo, Speed. We went to school together, but
Okay.
school was over. I'd be in my neighborhood in my block, and Apollo lived maybe like 5-10 minutes from where I did. But like he'd be in the house chilling and stuff like that. And that's I was running the streets trying to do dumb shit. And so my raps kind of reflected what I was listening to and what I was around at the time. And then by the time I got 18, 19, I finally started getting into a studio. And when I finally started getting to the studio, I sucked. I was terrible. I had no idea how to rap, no idea how to rap over a beat in the studio because I was used to freestyle on the corners, freestyle on the porch, but I didn't know how to construct 16 bars. I didn't know how to, do a hook or none of that. And I want to say it was 2010 when I finally was like, yo, like, let me do something serious with this shit. Like I know what I know how to do this, and I'm gonna only get better. So stop sitting around bullshitting. And I started going to the studio on a regular basis, man. I was working an office job in the insurance industry, and
Wow.
I used to bullshit off at work. Like I was, answering calls and doing paperwork, but in the midst of that, I'm writing rhymes, and I was also on like wrestling forums and shit on the computer and shit. I was on like hip hop message boards. I was like, yo, what's hot right now? Who popping right now? Like I was studying everything because I knew like if I want to get into this, like I gotta at least understand what I'm about to do. And like 2011 was the year like everything changed, man. Like everything changed, you know what I mean? Like I lost two real close family members and friends like at that same year. And then I finally decided to put out a project, which was the Soul Revival 1. That was the first, you know what I'm saying? And after that, like at the end of the year, I put out like literally I put Soul Revival 1 out in November 2011, and then a week later I found out my girl was pregnant at the time. And so I was
Mm.
like, my whole life completely changed. And that was when it was like, all right, I'm in the game. I'm here. I'm here now. Because like I was like, yo, what am I rap about? Like my first album was like I rapped about, you know what I'm saying, getting caught up in this, getting caught up in that. I rapped about, you know what I'm saying, growing up without my pops around, growing up without this and that. And it's like, what else am I rap about now? And then I was like, nope, I get it now. I got enough loss around me. I got enough newness around me too, with like I never went through no pregnancy before or watching a woman go through, like I never had to go, you know what I'm saying? So that gave me a new perspective. And that's really when I look at myself as like finally taking that step as an artist. Cause before it's like you just bullshit around, you know what I'm saying? You just like making songs. I used to make songs like niggas got bills and girl, let me see that ass. Like we were just doing dumb shit, like just funny. And then but then I was like, nah, man, like somebody gotta say something. Like I gotta say something that I want to hear too. Like niggas, rap didn't move me that much at that time either, because like it was Kendrick's and J. Cole's and all of them was coming along, Drake's and all of them and whatever, but like it didn't move me like what I came up on. And so
Hmm.
I was like, man, I gotta find a way to talk about where I'm at now, but also kind of give a little bit of what I grew up listening to and what moves me as an artist, as a rap fan. Like I grew up, you know what I'm saying? Like I grew up going to the corner store, getting the CDs and tapes and putting them in my Walkman. Like I don't have that feeling no more when I listen to music. So,
Mm.
I wanted to try to restore that feeling and make like we run shit back. Like this dope. I gotta hear this shit. This shit's dope. So that was it. 2011. That was it. That's when I really, really got in the game. That was it.
Well, you kind of hit on a little bit about my next question. So you talked about your style. You talked about how Pac was one of the people that kind of influenced you. And when I listen to you, like you said, you talk about a lot of different stuff, but one of the themes of your music, you kind of hit on a lot of that conscious rap. You know what I'm saying? Like, Pac back from the early 90s talking about Black struggle, the Black
Yeah.
experience, things of that nature. Can you just talk about, number one, who are your influences for that? And number two, why did you decide to go that route in some of your lyrics and some of your songs?
So influence wise, Pac was my biggest influence for a while because I think when I was trying to transition and out of like leaving the street shit alone, I
Mhm.
like Pac was kind of the artist that I was like, I say X two man, DMX two man, because like I always thought DMX eloquently put the pitfalls of being in the streets out there because you can be stop drop shove no open up shop and get at me dog but you got stop being greedy like he telling you like what I'm saying like you like niggas is out here getting money but they ain't sharing with the people that need it they not what I mean and then you slipping falling like you going through hell like so I seen that and I said man like that vulnerability along with awareness was something and for Pac I felt like Pac was like yo like the duality of man to me represented well in what Pac does. And I'm like, that's who I am. Like, I'm not 100% conscious all the time and nothing like that. Like everybody who knows me know like when it come to like the ladies, I'm not I could be keep your head up and try to be positive for the women. But I could also be how do you want it, toss it up style too. So it's like that's why like Pac was my influence because I'm like, yo, he is talking about like real shit, but he also talking about real shit. Like
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, like sometimes I like to get drunk. Sometimes nigga, I like to drink Hennessy too. Sometimes like I like doing that. And it was like there was no artist that I saw that had that balance of, you know what I'm saying? I'm a nigga, I'm from this, I'm from that but also I still want our conditions to get better. Like at the end of the day, like it's hard to balance that. And so Pac was always the guy that I was like, yo, like that's it. But also, even me as a person, like I always say, like I grew up, my mama, like even right now, I got a Black Panther t-shirt on right now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Black
Mhm.
Panther white t-shirt on. Like it's just, you know what I'm saying? Like the I was born into a situation where my mother would tell me stories when I was a kid about growing up during that time. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Civil rights era and stuff like that. And like how far we've come, but even though we come so far, we really ain't come that far. And she would tell me
Mhm.
that. And I remember just as a kid, like I used to just look up to like Malcolm X and Fred Hampton, Huey Newton and stuff like that, Bobby Seale. And I used to have a poster of Muhammad Ali, Malcolm X, and then I had a Black Panther, like, and I was like 6 or 7. I just thought, yo, and she my mom would just look at me and be like, I'm surprised you took to them. Like, yeah, I had Michael Jordan also on my wall and you know what I'm saying and shit like that. But like I looked at them as like to me like as a kid superheroes because Jordan was a superhero in sports world because couldn't nobody touch him, couldn't nobody fuck with him.
Yep.
You just untouchable. But Muhammad Ali, same way. I didn't know much about Ali because obviously it was before my time. But just watching old videos like old Wild World of Sports on ABC type stuff where they show old highlights, and I'm like he was talking and backing it up what he was saying, and then
Mhm.
looking at Malcolm X speeches and like Black Panther Party speeches and everything. I was like, yo, they stood for something. Like this world is bullshit. As a kid, you kind of learn that early, but as a kid, you don't want to kind of accept that the world is kind of bullshit because you're a kid. But you start to see it, and I was 11 the first time I had an encounter with the police, and
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying, in Baltimore, uh, that's a common theme. You know what I'm saying? If you tell it to somebody
Mhm.
who from somewhere else, they might be like, oh man, like 11, that's crazy. And I'm like, nah, that's pretty normal. You know what I'm saying? Like it's pretty normal for us. Like yeah. So I had that and I had that experience, and I was like, man, like if I ever get a chance to have a voice to say something, I got to speak about the realest shit to me. Like,
Mhm.
and everybody's struggle is different. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's struggle is different. But as a black man in America, I feel like our struggles are still the same. Like, we go out the house, it don't matter. It don't matter like where you from or like what you do.
Yep.
You could ride down the street and they get pulled over for that for some bullshit. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
they don't care about none of that shit. They don't care if you're a lawyer, if you're a doctor. They don't care if you're a millionaire. They don't care. None of that matters. And me knowing that and realizing that at a young age, I was like, all right, bet. Like, like once I got to start making music, once I kind of got away from wanting to be, I would say wanting to be a gangster. Like that's how I felt. Like I was I wanted to be that because I saw that, and I remember telling my mom, and I told somebody this. People looking like I'm crazy. I told my mom when I was 17. She said, I don't want to have to bury you by the time you're 21, so I need you to get it together. And I said,
Mhm.
I'd rather you bury me than vice versa. And
Mhm.
she looked at me like I was crazy, and I said, because I had seen so much of my life at 17, like you know what I'm saying. The first person I saw get shot and killed in front of me, I was 7.
Mm.
And that psyche is on a kid, it fucks you up, but you don't think about
Yeah.
it. You know what I'm saying? You don't think about it at like as you get older, when you go through these things that you're having these nightmares and and some of the stuff I had to go through when I was involved in the street shit, and even that, like, you don't think about how it affects your psyche. And then I watched my grandmother take her last breath. I was 8 years old. So
Mm.
like, you know what I mean? Like, I watched my grandmother pass away in front of me. Like, all that stuff it messed me up to the point where, like, I was like, I got to use my voice for something else. And that's why a lot of my music talks about a lot of vulnerability, a lot about like honest shit. It talks about, people consider conscious. Like, it's because I want my voice to say every single thing that goes on in my head. And it's a lot of shit that's always gone in my head. And we humans, yo, like, we all gone through enough shit that we have some thoughts in our head that ain't always great, aren't always good. Sometimes we got fucked up days. Sometimes we go through hell. Me understanding that and being the embodiment of that is like the conscious stuff. I've never understood how people fuck with the government. That's my thing. I never understood that because I don't look at the government as being on our side. So, no matter what goes on, it's like, even when you look at stimulus and shit like that, even now, like, we had to go watch niggas argue for like 6 months,
Yeah.
like, just to
Yeah.
send a measly ass check. And and
So,
and
yeah.
and and it's like, if people really cared about people that were struggling, like, and I could see if this was if life was going on regularly, like, no shit, circumstances are different. You got people sitting at home that can't even go to work. You got people losing jobs. You got 30 million people unemployed. Like, you do not care about these people. You
Hmm.
don't care about them. You act like you do, but you don't. And it's all bullshit because, like, the face is going to change. Politicians' face is going to change. Like, I've been around long enough to watch it and see, like, we only get a smidgen of difference, really. You
Yep.
know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like your tax breaks. Oh man, like, I got a little extra money on my check. Like, we excited about that. Like, that's the reality of the world we live in. Is like, hey man, like, I got an extra $50, $60 on my check because the tax is lower. Or I got an extra $100 on my check because the tax is lower. And it's like, that $100 extra on the check does, of course, help you for your bills, stuff like that. But it's like, man, like, that's it. Like,
Yeah.
that's the only benefit we get of this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it, like, oh, and like, free healthcare came along, which, like, it was helpful in some ways, but it's like, a lot, like, that shit went pretty much, like, now niggas, a lot of niggas lost that. So
Yeah.
it's people who can't, like, it's people who lost their job, and you lose your health care as a result of it. You got to enroll in programs to even do that, to get into that, and that takes time. Like, I've listened to people personally tell me, like, man, I lost this, I lost that, and like I said, people have always reached out to me for years because of how open and transparent I am, to tell me a lot of the situations. Say, yo, man, I listened to this, and I feel like you understand this, and I'm like, hey, bro, look, we all going through something. So if you need somebody to talk to, like, I'm here. And
Mm.
listening to people's, like, for years, and this is even before I was even doing music. Like, people was reaching out to me, just people even at work. I would be working a job, and people come to talk to me like, man, I'm stressing myself out, and I don't know if I'm doing good at the job, and, like, we're all going through something, and as a people, we're technically all in this together, even if we don't realize it. And it's the other people that are above us and look down on us that are the real issue. But we spend too much time fighting each other. And that was, to me, kind of my thing, where I'm like, man, somebody gotta say something. And that's where the conscious shit came from. Like, somebody gotta say something. And going through enough, going through enough and seeing enough will make you realize, like, yeah, somebody gotta say something. And so I couldn't imagine a world where I couldn't speak my mind and talk about things from a conscious place, or just an honest place, or a real place, because nobody else is really doing it like they supposed to. At least not no more. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
everybody on drugs now. Like, like, that shit crazy to me, bro. Like, when I started seeing rappers, talking about how much they pop pills and how much they do this, and I'm like, man, I heard people say they pop pills before. I heard people say they get drunk and shit, and they smoke their weed, or they do whatever. I'm like, but I never heard it become like a gimmick, like a
Yeah.
gimmick, like you're a drug rapper. And I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Growing up, I thought it was like, yo, the addicts was the niggas you don't be cool with. You stay away from the addicts a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like, because them the people, you know what I'm saying? Them people, they might try, like, steal your shit. They might try to rob something for you. they need help. And I just didn't understand how that became the coolest thing. But then part of me also realized that that's a product of what we all going through. People self-medicating themselves with drugs to try to deal with the pressures and the stress of the daily life. And I could look at them and say, you weak for doing that and whatever, but I don't know your circumstance, so I can't fully judge. But the music, I don't want to hear that shit.
Yeah.
Like you make a whole album talking about you pop perkies and saying Xannies and all that shit, and I'm like, why is this a whole album? Like, like why is it a whole
Uh,
album?
all right. So I'm gonna jump forward a little bit because I'm gonna get back to some more real shit in a second. But your next release, Life is a Movie, right? Coming out here
But that's all.
soon. Oh, it's
That's
out now.
that, yeah.
It ain't,
I got
it ain't,
after that. I got one after that.
okay. I don't think it popped on my feed. At least I haven't heard it yet. So talk about your upcoming release and then talk about Life as a Movie coming out and what you got going on with it on there, what you're talking about, what's the subject matter and stuff like that.
So, so I'll do a quick run through all the projects because it's a lot. It's a lot. Clearly, it's a lot of shit I got coming. But Life is a Movie kind of started from an idea I had 3 or 4 years ago. And I wanted to do an album based on movies, like actual movies, but I couldn't figure out how to do it right. And so the project is a conceptual album, basically centered around pieces of my life turned into references of movies.
Mm.
So so there's the like we got a Francis Ford Coppola movies are kind of some of the basis of some of those films. That's the basis of the intro. It's kind of just not get started, and then we got I got a joint dedicated to John Singleton because growing up, John Singleton movies was like that was like helped shape me as a kid. Like that's all I watched a lot of times, and if I saw John Singleton's name on it instantly, and I did a joint based off of Belly, you know what I'm saying? And this is crazy part I was thinking about because I'm like, yo, X's movie, like DMX's movies. I used to watch them joints so much, like whether it was Belly, Exit Wounds, Romeo Must Die, and The Cradle to the Grave. I used to like watching them. Like I used to like seeing my man, in the movies, and so I did the Belly interlude on there too. I did one called Within the Matrix, which is kind of in the vein of the conscious shit because it definitely taps into how my mind thinks and looking at the actual Matrix itself. So I did one we did one about the movie Have Plenty. A lot of people, it's funny, so I got my crew in there and they don't even know the movie Have Plenty that well. So I was like, yo, I said my life I've absolutely had situations like that movie. So, and then me and Apollo got a song, Booty Call, which obviously that 100% is you know what I'm saying? So and like the whole album is just really reflects different pieces of my life and but tied in with the movie. You know what I'm saying? Like I got a joint Money Mitch. That shit is taking off crazy right now. The Money Mitch joint is like that's my second most streamed song ever in my entire career, just that fast. So and it's only been out for like a few weeks. So that's the crazy part. Like that just took off because and that's kind of me reflecting on back in my days. I was running over east, running over west, and thinking I was gonna be that nigga getting that money and all that stuff like that. And but that tied into Paid in Full, tied into like South Central and New Jersey Drive, movies like that. Like it all just tied into it all together. These movies that kind of shaped me growing up too. So I got that. I got a joint called The Mac on there because like I said, Booty Call, The Mac. Those are accurate pieces of kind of my life, and I always wanted to be like Iceberg Slim. So I always wanted to be like kind of played it up too. So I was like, every song represents a piece of my life in some way, shape, or form, and where I've been and where I'm at and all that stuff like that. So that was important to me to have an album like that. And like I said, right now it's one of my most streamed albums already that fast. It's just taken off. And I think it's because of the titles. The titles are titled after the movies. So I think people are like seeing the titles and like, let me check this out. Let me check this out. And so it's like new people coming in and you know what I'm saying? I look at my listener count and my demographic and I'm reaching like Germany, you know what I'm saying? People out in Denmark and people here, people there, like in countries I ain't never heard of. And I'm seeing my name. I'm like, that's crazy. So that was a smart idea for me, I think, to do that because the titles grab people. Like we had a song called Wet, which was about sex, but it was just wet. And like I looked at the numbers and I'm like, yo, this shit is on like hella streams. Like, and I was like, oh wait. I'm looking at the other songs on the album. I'm like, the other songs doing decent, but not like this. This motherfucker's like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of streams ahead of this one. And I'm like, oh, it's the title. People just
Title.
search stuff and then they're like that. So I said, okay, all right, cool. And then of course, Eyes on the Ring 2 came out, that recently dropped not too long ago. I got my next joint, The World of True, which is kind of encompasses everything. I got so many different flavors on there. That's my next one. That's the one I'm kind of really proud of this one. The same way I'm proud of Life as a Movie. I think they are both they're both great standalone projects, and they represent two different sides of me as an artist. Like I have a conceptual album and Life is a Movie, which requires focus and attention to detail. Whereas World of True is like, hey man, I'm just making whatever I feel. We got a Cash Money dedication song on there. I call it Cash Money cosplay record. I played Juvenile on the song, Apollo BG, my man Shaggy's Turk, my man G Pegs is Wayne on there, and then we go back to '98. We got a joint on there that's dedicated to all the soul groups of the '70s, which shapes me too, because what I'm saying, like my mom put me on all
Yeah.
these groups from the '70s. So so we literally, the way I set up all these songs is for soul roots. Pegs does his verse about the Gap Band. He pays homage to the Gap Band. The band Slave, Apollo, he wanted to choose them because he loves the song Watching You. So he wanted to do one of them. My man Shaggy talks about Cool in the Gang. Ohio players, my man Hab talk about Ohio players, and I get to talk about Earth, Wind, and Fire. So it's
Mm.
it's fun how we put that together. And then I got a Life as a Movie leftover because it didn't fit. It didn't really fit the album itself. The movie One Night in Miami came out earlier this year, and I just thought it was dope because it had Muhammad Ali, Malcolm X, Jim Brown, and Sam Cooke all together. And I was like, yo, I want to do a song where we take on the roles of those characters at that time, but not at that night in the movie. So
Mm.
I'm Malcolm X. Apollo plays Muhammad Ali. My man Shaggy plays Sam Cooke, and Speed takes the role of Jim Brown. And we're essentially talking about their lives and how it intersected and intertwined, but also was separate. Like where Muhammad Ali and Malcolm in the movie One Night in Miami. In the movie, you still see them as their close friends. It's right before all that Nation of Islam separation stuff, like right before that. But so we touch on kind of like underlying tension with Malcolm being suspended from the nation, and Muhammad Ali going public with it, and all this different stuff. So like we really tried to dive deep into that, and that's a song that I think people gonna really enjoy on the World of True when that comes out. And like I said, I got R&B songs on that shit too,
All right.
and like I said, I'm all over the place right now, man. It's like musically, I'm just doing whatever I kind of feel like, and it's because my mom told me like 2 years ago. She told me, she said, because I always sing with her, and she said, why don't you ever make one of them little singing albums? And I was like, no, I ain't really. I'm saying I ain't really. I'm saying I ain't really trying, to do that. And she said, no, give it a try. She's like, you can do it. You can. I believe in you. So that was kind of changed. That kind of changed everything for me. When your mama tell you to do something, I listen. So I've been doing a
Absolutely.
lot more harmonizing, a lot more like melody based songs and projects and stuff like that. So yeah, these next two projects, and I got an album with Apollo and Speed called Numbers. It comes out Sunday. Actually, I just thought about
Okay.
that. It's a DAR original. We call it DAR original because the crew has expanded so much now. We got these different people from Memphis and New
Yep.
York and other different people. I'm saying MCs, but the core of it has always been Apollo and Speed. I'm saying that's been my brothers, and so and so we took it back to the essence. We made a joint, made an album, and that album is crazy too. It comes out on Mother's Day because Speed lost his mother, I lost my mother, and Apollo lost both of his grandmothers. So it was like we made an album together that what I'm saying, we're gonna put it out on Mother's Day, so also our moms can see us. They can look down on us and see we did something, and we got a song dedicated to them on that song on that album too. So I got so much music. I got a G Funk album coming out too, man. We got a G Funk album going back to Snoop corrupting them days, man. And
You
that's
do. You do, and that's what I wanted to ask you, man. Because I mean, my head's spinning right now after everything you just laid out on me. Because I totally forgot that Life is Movie already dropped. I was thinking about World of True, which is coming out. That's why I kind of got mixed up. But
It's too
in
much.
my count, yeah, it's too much. By my count, last year between yourself, your solo joints, and the DAR joints was 20 albums, and I might be off. Like,
It sound about right.
okay,
I
so
can't,
20 albums in 2020. We in 2021 now. By my count, before you just dropped all this on me, I thought it was 9. You just laid out like 3 other ones, so now you're at going on 12. We're only in May. Are
I'm
you going to
taking a break.
surpass what you did last year?
I'm not. I'm actually not because I did all this because I told somebody actually at the beginning of the year, I said, you're going to see a lot more of me in 2021 because I felt like I was hitting my peak as an artist. I was like, yo, I'm tapping into something different right now. And, last year, I lost my mom last summer. And when I did, I didn't want to make music. I didn't go to the studio for 3 months, which is crazy that in 2020 I did so much because I didn't release anything for a good 3 or 4 months. I didn't make anything or do anything for 3 or 4 months. I couldn't. I just couldn't write. I couldn't do anything, and it was a struggle for me to even get back to making albums. So I feel like I'm in the best place I've been at mentally in the last like 10 months where I can sit down. That's why so much work coming out of this now because it's like while I have this energy, I want to create. And even if I don't, I got some songs like I said that might not come out until later on in the year that I might just sit on for a while. I just want to make them while I'm here. But like I don't record. When I'm in Baltimore, I record. When I'm not in Baltimore, I don't record. So essentially, it's I come to Baltimore and like I told them I finished Life as a Movie in a week. I finished World of True in 3 days. I finished, and I mean when I say finish, I mean writing, like producing, production, mixing, mastering it. I do all of that myself now. So it's different. Like so I do all this myself, and I did it in 3 days, and I'm so proud of that album. And the G Funk thing took us about a week and a half to do. I just realized I got another project with me, Shaggy and Apollo, which is like our it's like our most Baltimore centered project because we all from Baltimore. So it's like we putting out a joint. It's called TSA for True Shaggy Apollo. It's called TSA. So we putting that out probably in June or something like that. But even that we did that in like 4 or 5 days. So it's like the way we rolling. We're rolling. So it's like every day if I'm in town, I maybe can make 20 songs a day if I wanted to if I got the time. But I don't usually have the time to do that, so I cut it down to maybe like 6 to 7, maybe 8 or 9 a day when I'm in the zone. And so like I don't think I'm gonna surpass my output from 2020 because I'm consciously taking a break from June through probably September, October, and kind of sitting down and what I'm saying, like just doing the dad life. And then when I'm not doing the dad life, like I told my boys, like, man, look, if everybody back outside, we're gonna be back outside. Not the same way they outside, but we're gonna be back outside a little bit. Like we can rent a villa somewhere and just get a crew of us, get some girls, a couple girls to come with us, and we be on about a beach or something and get away from everybody else, but we still can go away and just live and just not have to worry about the stresses of life. And like we can make music, but we ain't gotta put it out. Like I feel like there's enough out there for people to catch up to, so I don't have to keep going right now. And people are catching on a lot quicker than I thought. Like I've always had people listening, but like I said, it's different now because the demographics expanding to the point where like I couldn't reach. I could reach Atlanta, I could reach Chicago, L.A. a year or two ago, but I wasn't reaching Australia. I wasn't reaching Japan like that. I wasn't reaching. I'm reaching these people with every single release, and at that point, I'm like, if me going worldwide as an independent artist says enough to me because everything I do is through me. I own everything that I do. I pay for everything that I do. Like I put all my money like 100% independent in what I do. And to see that just me, and I had to go through several Twitter accounts, which also allows me to have to rebuild my clientele and listeners and stuff like that. So to be where I'm at right now, where it's like the buzz is hitting a lot harder than it was before, and the listeners getting a little higher than they were before, and in different places, I'm like, yo, I gotta hit them with some knockout joints. Like so, this is why I'm giving them, you know, I don't want to play it safe. That's why I'm giving them these very thought-provoking, conceptual joints. Like, I want to hit you with something so different that you'll remember that shit. Because if I hit you, like, what I'm saying? Even with Eyes on the Ring too, I really didn't want to make that album, I really did not want to make that album. And I remember you told me for years, we
Dude,
had this
I've been
conversation.
telling you since 2016 that you need to make that album.
The funniest part is once it was decided that we were gonna do it, I was like, wait till Dre hear this shit, man. I was like, wait till this. You the first person I thought about. I was like, you've been telling me to make this album,
Yep.
and it's funny because Speed, a lot of those beats on the Eyes on the Ring too. People don't realize Speed sent me those beats in 2016. 2016 sent me a lot of those beats, and he was like, hey, he's like, here, here go the beats, and I was like, I ain't feeling it, and he was like, why? I'm like, because I just wasn't feeling wrestling at the time. I wasn't feeling right about wrestling. I just didn't care. Like even I was going to Evolve shows, like I said, we were going to Evolve shows and shit
Yeah.
like that. But I just didn't care enough about wrestling. And it was because obviously my past experience being close to the business and business like that. I just like I don't want to write about it. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, on Bandcamp, Eyes on the Ring one did ridiculous numbers. Like I'm looking at like damn near 1 million streams on that album alone off of Bandcamp, and I made more money off of that on Bandcamp than I did through iTunes and Spotify. So that made me. I was like, yo, that's crazy that people tapped into it that much. And I guess because I also didn't put it on Spotify or iTunes for a while, but I was on the Ring too. It came about so crazy because I was like, I guess it was right around the time when people were like, yo, they might have fans at WrestleMania. And so I was like, if they got fans at WrestleMania, like we gotta put something out. We gotta put something out for that. Because it's like the world's been crazy for the last year. You know what I'm saying? No events. I was like, we gotta put out something. I was like, maybe we put out a song or like an EP or something like that. And Speed, of course, was like, well, why don't we just go with I Was on the Ring too? And I was like, no, man, no. Like, no, I don't want to do it. And then the rest of the crew was like, I Was on the Ring too. Like, yo, that's the wrestling joint you got. Like, yo, why not? I was like, I don't have any desire to write about wrestling. I just don't right now. I just really don't. And then next thing I know, the Booker T theme song, they sent me the Booker T theme song, and they was like, "What you think about that?" And I just thought I was like, "God damn it!" I was like, "Fine." So I went and I recorded that joint real quick, and I sent it to him, and I said, "Yo, look," I sent it back to him, and say, "Yo, look, this the only song I'm gonna be on. If y'all want to do it, y'all can do it. I won't be on it." And they convinced me to get on like another like 6 or 7 joints on the album, but yeah.
Well, so I just want to point out to the viewers, listeners, whatever, that you lied to me back in 2016. You told me the delay for
It was
Eyes on
on
the Ring
Speed.
2 was on Speed. You had to
It
wait for
was.
him to get inspired.
It
But
was. It was. That was.
if he gave you the beats, he gave you the
Okay.
beats.
Hold on. His thing. When I heard those beats, I was like, you gotta give me something better than that. I'm being completely honest. At 2016, I was like, y'all give me something better than that. And
Okay.
he's like, I'm just not inspired to make anymore. And I felt Speed had half-assed it a little bit. It's me being honest. And I felt he was half-assing it. And I told him, I said, yo, you gotta give me more than that. Because I wasn't inspired either. But I was like, I'll make it happen. Because I did the Undertaker joint around that time. When me and Speed did the Undertaker joint, that's out on one of the many albums I got. It's out. And I was like, I ripped that shit. And I was like, all right, I guess I can write. Because I did a whole verse on the Undertaker joint where I literally listed off every single Undertaker WrestleMania opponent in different ways. So I was like, y'all can kind of get back into it, but I wanted to be specific people. I wanted to do over Nakamura's, shit. I wanted to do Harlem Heat. Like it was specific ones, and all the specific ones that I kept asking Speed to do, he didn't do them. And that's why I was like, he kept sending me stuff. You know what I'm saying? He sent me the Macho Man joint, and I was like, I could probably work with that. Okay, cool. But then he had sent me the Ric Flair joint, and I was like, but I just did a Four Horsemen joint on Eyes on the
Yeah.
Ring 1, so I didn't want to, you know what I'm saying? I didn't want to do the same thing. And so that's why I say with Speed, like he was sending me stuff that I wasn't asking for at the
Gotcha.
time. And I was like, come on, man. I'm like, and he was like, I'm just not inspired. I can't find this inspiration to do this one. I can't find inspiration to do this one and do that one. And then he sent me a shield one, and I'm like, bro, I got a shield one literally on the same, like, what are we doing here? And he's like, what about something over the Rock? He said, what about the Rock's theme? I'm like, I got a Nation of Domination based joint literally on there. I got a Nation of Domination on the first one, and then
Yep.
we like if people listed the first one, listed the second one, there's another NWO sample joint on there. It's two, and like we sampled NWO twice. And I was like, yo, I didn't want to do that. So when they did it, I said, well, if I'm not on the NWO one, it's a different perspective on it. So that was even a conscious decision for me. Like, I don't even want to get on this NWO joint because I did a whole NWO joint based around Hulk Hogan's whole
Yep.
career and shit. So like,
Yep.
I don't want to do that again. So I was like, I'll let them have fun. Literally, Eyes on the Ring 2 is just my bros, all my bros like wrestling. So it's like we all we all wrestling fans. So it's like, yo, get y'all balls off, man. They got a joint where they talking about Trish Stratus, you was the baddest, Stacy Keibler, like they, and when they was doing that shit, I was like, I don't even want to be on that, man. I said, because I'm gonna say some wild off the wall shit about them divas. So I don't even I don't even want to do it. But like I said, I'm happy it came out the way it turned out. Eyes of the Ring 2, it made sense. It came out literally WrestleMania weekend, so it made perfect sense to do it. And there's been talk of a third. I don't think I got it in me, but but
Don't, if you're gonna do it, you need to do it while it's fresh and while you got some heart into it. Don't wait 6 more years.
I'll put it like this: people gotta ask me. I tell everybody. I told somebody. Somebody else asked me like, "Are you gonna do a third one?" I was like, "Ask me for next year's WrestleMania. Ask me for next year's WrestleMania because
So
I'm going to next year's WrestleMania. I'm just put that. I'm already got my budget aside for it. I'm going to next year's WrestleMania. I went because I went 35. I went to 35 weekend, and which is funny. It was right in New York, but I went and I decided to not go to the actual WrestleMania, which is
yeah, I
like
remember saying that. Yeah, yeah.
I went to Access. I stopped by Access because at the time that's when ACH was like working as Jordan Miles there, so she tried to get me a swing through Access and shit like that. And I went to the ROH and New Japan shit, and I did all that stuff and went to WrestleCon. And I was like, that was a cool experience, but I still got to go to Mania. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been into a Survivor Series before. I've been to other pay-per-views and stuff. Like I gotta get a Mania off the list. And even though like WWE, I don't really care too heavily for some of the stuff I see on the now. Just to go to a WrestleMania inside of a stadium, and I believe it's in Dallas, right? They're doing it in Dallas, I think. Yeah. So, and I like Dallas. I like going to Dallas anyway. So it's like, yeah, I'm gonna make that happen. So maybe a third one to happen next year, for that one. But if that's the case, I want to take more time and actually do it exactly how I want to do it and pinpoint and like the songs we missed and the people, the rest is missed. Like I want to do a Bret Hart joint. We ain't done a Bret Hart joint yet. You know what I'm saying? Like the Nakamura joint. Nakamura's theme is crazy. I know we could do something crazy with Nakamura's theme. You know what I mean? And somebody on Twitter said something about Roman's new theme. You know what I'm saying? Roman Reigns' new theme. I was like, shit.
Right.
I was like, I'll cook that too. Like, yeah, like so. There's ideas. Like I have ideas now. So I'm like, it'll probably be a third one. Like I'm saying, it's probably a third one, just not right now.
Well, I mean, because I did it for every year. I think I asked you around WrestleMania time from 2016 on when the second was coming. So I will make that a habit, especially if this joint ain't here by next year. I
It'll
will
be
make
there
it
by
happen to
next
bug
year.
you. To bug you.
It'll happen by next year. I think it'll happen by next year. It's just I think it'd be good for me to take this break and then come back to it. And probably by then, I guess, when September, October, when I probably get back into the studio or get back, well, not into the studio, but get back to recording, I feel like I'll have a fresher perspective and also be not burnt out. Cause I'm like slightly close to getting burnt out artist wise because I'm doing so much. So I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, let me take a break. You know what I'm saying? Let me go to Top Golf with my baby girl. Let me go to, you know what I'm saying? Let me go to the aquarium and just do that. Let's go do this and let's do that and let's go here, let's go there. And let me take my boys, you know what I'm saying? Let me get my boys, let's go rent a yacht or something and get away from the world and get some girls with us and let's go have some fun. Let's go shoot some music videos even if we want to do that shit too. Like if we gonna be outside, let's be outside. Like let's really be outside and let's have fun. And said the last 2 3 years that I had to go through, been hell. And so on a personal level, and so my mama told me to live my life. So I'm gonna go do that pretty
So
much.
let me just talk about your mom real quick, man. And number one, what she meant to you. Number two, how she inspired you musically. I mean, I knew kind of sort of that she was sick from
Yeah.
you're not ever really a person to kind of put all your stuff out there on social media, right? But you
Mm.
would say some things to where I would kind of be like, something's not right. And then I saw last year you put on there when she passed, and I was like, dang, I knew she was not doing too well because you were going to visit her and take care of her, all that. But I didn't know it was that bad. So when she passed, it kind of shocked me. So just talk about, what she meant to you. Number one, as her son. I mean, you got a couple albums, releases named after her.
Yeah.
So just talk about what she meant to you, obviously, as your mother, and then also musically and how she inspired you in that way.
I mean, my mother was like, that's my first hero, you know what I'm saying? My first role model. And just that's my everything. So, the hard part about my life is that I don't ever look at life, and nobody in my family lives to be beyond like 65, 70 years old. So, my grandmother passed at 60. My mom was 63. And so, I kind of look at, and like on my father's side of the family, like they all live to be like, 80, 90. So maybe I'll be in somewhere in that 75, 80 range or something like that. If I'm lucky enough, because I want to do want to see my child grow up, be an adult and stuff like that too. So, but with my mom, man, my mom is like, that was just everything to me. Like that was my best friend, like, and I've said it before. My two best friends are, you know what I'm saying, a woman in her 60s and an 8-year-old. Those are my two best friends. And it's like, because the amount of love my mom poured into me, especially growing up without my pops being around, stuff like that, like the amount of love she poured into me and the care and concern, like I try to pour that now into my child too. So she, and me and my daughter's bond is like the same way me and my mom are like this, me and my daughter are like this. And everybody knows that I've had to go through some shit even in that situation too. But you know what I'm saying, no matter, it don't matter how, far away or how much time, our bond ain't never gonna change. And when me and my mom, you know what I'm saying, like our bond has never changed. And even though she was sick, she had a lot, you know what I'm saying? And I don't really talk about it. I don't really get into too much of it, but like she had a lot happen over the last 2 years. Like my mother, actually, they told her in early 2019 that she might not ever be able to walk again. So she was confined to a wheelchair. And I remember I sat with her in the hospital and I said, we ain't letting that happen. And she said, if I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna go out when I'm ready. And I ain't ready. And I said, and I ain't ready either. So I became her physical therapist. And I helped her walk again on her own. The doctors, all the specialists said she wasn't gonna do it. And she did it. And that to me is a prime example of who my mom was. You know what I'm saying? Like that's her spirit. Like she was like, oh, the doctor said what? Okay. Like and she got up and she started doing it and she made it happen. And I knew 2013, 2014, I was told that what she was sick with, there was really nothing you could do to kind of fix that. So knowing that, I said, let me make the most of my time with her. Let me go be there for her multiple times a week. I made some sacrifices. There's a lot of stuff like that I don't talk about, that I made sacrifices of course, to be by my mom's side as much as I could, which cost me in other areas. So, and that was a tough decision to make. And I battled a whole bunch of bullshit as a result of that. But if it meant I got to experience my mom's smile for however many years and whatever, and get to be around her and at least bring her joy in the later years of her life, then I'm okay with that. And so, as an inspiration, she inspired me to do this so much as an artist, because, you know, most of my music taste comes from her. So I was young. She was playing, Marvin Gaye, Smokey Robinson, and Luther, and the Isley Brothers, Earth, Wind and Fire. In the kitchen, she making the French toast and the pancakes for breakfast, and she's singing and stuff. And I'm like, oh, mom, what's that song? I like that. Okay. And I didn't know the songs. And then, as I started to kind of develop a different taste for like R&B and rap, she, oh, what you like this song? Yeah, I like Outkast too. Okay. She like, I like Lil 50 Cent. I like Lil 50 Cent. He cool. Little Jay-Z. All right. Like, so she, she kind of, instead of, a lot of parents, like when you get certain age, they're like, oh, why don't you listening to that? She just embraced it for me. She was like, okay. Like she embraced me as the changes I went through in my teenage years, and like she embraced it enough to where she's like, I want you to be able to express yourself and be you. That's why I am the way I am, because she allowed me to just be me. And when I didn't know who I wanted to be, she was like, I'm gonna help you find your way. And you know what I'm saying? Like I said, the only reason why I'm still alive today, in my opinion, is because of my mother. You know, because I was spiraling when I was 17, man, about to be 18, and like it's some shit that I've told people I can't really speak on it. You know what I'm saying? I don't speak on it like in anywhere that would be public, but it's certain
Yeah.
situations that happen. You know what I'm saying? Where it was like people around me was like getting caught up in the shit, and I have a brother. Most people don't realize this. I have an actual brother on my father's side, and we have even though my father and I don't have a relationship, my brother have a relationship. My brother's doing 25 years in jail
Mm.
now. You know what I'm saying? And I got a cousin who I grew up with that's like we like brothers growing up. He's doing another 15. You know what I'm saying? He been in and out of jail. And I'm like, I'm the only one of us that ain't got no long bit on my record. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's not because I didn't do my dirt. It's just that my mother was like, you about to be 18. You want to be out there with, him and him and him, or you gonna get your shit together. And it was like at that point, I'm like, man, like, like this ain't really worth it. You know what I'm saying? Like you get shot at a couple times, you gotta shoot back. It's like, is this really worth it? Like, is this shit really worth me like putting my mother through this pain? You know what I
Mm.
mean? Like my mother used to, so I always look at like as an inspiration, she made me change my life. She made me become an artist because my love for music is what strengthened was always strengthened our bond too, because like we could be going through a lot and we just cut on some good music, sit there and just laugh and talk, and it's like we ain't got no problems no more. And even
Mm.
now to this day, that's kind of how I live. So man, she is she's just the embodiment of strength too, because there's so many different things that we went through together. Like when I was a kid, you know what I'm saying? Like I watched my mom, go through hell too, in different situations. And like I said, she lost her mom, you know what I'm saying? My grandma passed away in front of us, in front of
Mm.
us. So you got to live with that. And it's hard. It's hard to live with that, to watch, the person you love and care the most lose their life in front of you. That
Mm.
sticks with you forever. And so to watch her have to go through that, to lose, my great aunts and like everybody, like all her friends, you know, passed away and stuff like that. And my cousin who, you know, my mom loved my cousin and his wife and his daughter, and his wife and daughter got into a car accident and passed away. And they lived in Jersey, and
Mm.
his daughter was like 19, and me and her used to be real close too. And so like I watched my mom kind of navigate through these tragic situations with such poise and strength that it made me feel like I got to be the same way. And so as an
Wow.
inspiration, she's an inspiration to me in every facet. Like I can't even, it can't even put into words how much of inspiration, how much she means to me, because I got this I got this chain made, you know what I mean, right here, and I got like three or four of them made. I got she tatted on my arm now too. So, what I'm saying, she with me everywhere I go. And I guess the only thing I hate is just I really wish that she could have been able to get a lot more time in with my daughter. That's probably the only
Yeah.
thing that really hurts me the most, is because you know the pandemic kind of slowed everything up a little bit, because I couldn't go to see her in the hospital,
Mm.
and she was doing okay actually, and then she was in the hospital for months, and they wouldn't let us go
Mm.
see her. And I actually managed to sneak in last Mother's Day. It's the last time I actually saw her face to face. And I
Mm.
snuck in because I act like I had something that I had to go bring in. And I didn't really have anything. But they said, we can give it to her. I said, no, I got to deliver it to her personally. And they said, you better wear your mask. You can't touch it, nothing like that. And I went in there to see her just because I was like, I knew this could be the last Mother's Day I have with you here. So I don't give a fuck what these people say. They had to lock my ass up to make me not see my mama. And so I did that, and I got the picture. Still got the pictures from that day. And so like going through that, COVID really fucked up a lot,
Mm.
because even if my mom, if everything went the same way that it went, my mom would have still been here.
Mm.
And even if from like March to June, I could have still had these gave her, a couple more times to see my child, and my child to get some more time in with her too. So that's the only thing that I wish changed. But other than that, like I said, my mom is my mom, man. So I'm just grateful. I'm just grateful I got to, have my mom for as long as I did, because I know a lot of people who didn't, you
Mm-hmm.
know. A lot of people just, a lot of people didn't get to have a mom and had a parents, man. So, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm blessed. I'm blessed I got to have it and got to have a great relationship with my mom, and I'm glad that I got to hear her say several times that she was proud of me. So,
That's what's up. That's some real shit, man. That's some real talk. And I just wonder, I guess the last thing I want to talk about is your 8-year-old best friend. Also, I'm sure a big inspiration to you. I know a little bit about the trials and tribulations you had to go through, to be able to have the relationship that you do have with her. There was some separation for a little bit of time, and you had to make some sacrifices so you were able to see your daughter. So just talk about her because she has affected your music as well.
yeah, man, my baby is, man, she's just amazing, man. Like her, like you know, I used to wonder when my mom used to look at me as a kid, and I said some crazy shit as a kid. So I but she used to look at me and just smile at me and just be like, "Boy, you something else." And I find myself saying it to my daughter all the time, like, "Girl, you like how?" And like so, like, and this is me. This is my dad moment. Like, so I give her my tablet sometimes and my laptop. I let her use my stuff sometimes, and so I was like I was on Google and I guess we were looking up something for the Nintendo Switch. And I happened to go look at Super Mario 3D World. Bowser's Fury just came out a couple months ago, and of course, I bought the game for her so she could play it and stuff like that. And I go, and I see the reviews, and I was like, "Who's?" And I was like, "Hold up, hold up, hold up." I was like, "Hold up, the baby girl." And she's like, "Huh?" Like, is that you leaving a review on the game? And she was like, "Oh yeah, I did." I was like, when did you it's like when did you even do this? She was like, oh, when he like I was sitting right there. And I was like, I was on Google, I looked it up, and I wanted to leave a review for the game because I love the game. She gave it 5 stars and shit. And I was just like, yo, that's it, like even just that just made me like, oh my God, like you the most adorable shit,
That's
this is the most
crazy.
adorable shit in the world. And so like, oh man, like I've always said that no matter the trials and tribulations that I had to go through to get to this point, if at the end of those trials and tribulations this beautiful, beautiful child was waiting for me to just be there with me, I would do the same thing over and over again if I had to, because there's nothing there's nothing more important to me than my child, and just to see her grow and to be able to watch her grow and just the hugs and the kisses that she gives me, and she'll give me 35 kisses in a row on my cheek, just give me a whole bunch of kisses and hugs and stuff like that, and we just adore each other, and I think that's what's so special because that's daddy's girl. She's a daddy's girl, and because my parenting style is different, obviously from her mom. We have two different parenting styles. I think we have similar principles, but I think we're just different. That's not knocking her or anything like that because I think she does a good job herself. It's just that I think my parenting style is so much like how my mom's was with me that
Mm,
we just it's just different, and so it's just watching her, her communication with the other kids and from school, or just, how her teachers take to her, how she takes everything. Like it's just an experience. And I think sometimes with parenthood, we don't really stop and appreciate the blessing that we have. We look at our kids sometimes as like, issues or problems. Like people look at it, and I could never look at my child like that. I always looked at her as a blessing. Like from day one, I've always said that. Like it was amazing to just hold her when she was born and just watching her, like when she used to kick me in my face when she was a baby, or when she would jump on my back and damn near choke me out as a 2 year old and stuff like that, and when she would throw up on me and stuff like that, and I had to change the diaper. Like all that stuff is just a part of the experience, and as being a parent, and it was just like I was so grateful to have that experience and to be with her and to just be a part of her life, and just have her. It's just amazing because I don't think I don't think she understands what she means to me quite yet. Like,
mm,
it's like it's hard for us as kids to understand what we mean to our parents.
mm-hmm,
But now I understood what I mean to my mom. Now I
mm,
get it. she was like, you just don't understand how much I love you, how much, how important you are to me, how much you, and I, like you think, oh yeah, you're my parent. So yeah, you love me. But it's like, it's different, and like, and baby girl will be talking, and she's like, we'll talk for hours, baby girl, and we'll talk for hours, and it'd be about nothing. It'd be about something on Disney Plus, or like, oh, this is what I liked about Tom and Jerry, and that's what I didn't like about Tom and Jerry, or this is what I didn't like about this, and like, we just have these nonsensical conversations about the most asinine things, but it's the best fucking conversations ever, man. And it's just like, she'll even say like, I love how we talk and how we communicate, and it's like, you're 8. How do you have such an understanding of these things? It's crazy. Like, it just blows my mind, and just the like, watching her interest shape and change, and I'm not gonna lie, man. Like, we at that, almost at that training bra stage, right? So it's
Woo, good luck.
yeah, and she's entering like the puberty stage, like kind of early. Went to the doctors, like, oh yeah, she's, it's just da da da, and she's outgrowing everything too, and it's just like, man, like, it's just crazy to see, but it's like, I'm here for it, man. Like, I know it's tough. It's gonna be tough, to get through when she get them double-digit years and high school and stuff like that. It's like, but now I get to see, you get to see the other side of it. Now I get to see what my mom went through, just in a different
Mm-hmm.
fashion. I get to, but through it all, like I said, I don't envision it being a challenge for me. It's just, I understand the natural progression of life. Like, she was a baby, and just even seeing her go from being a baby to being 5, or being 6, being 7, now being 8, like almost she's about to be 9 in 2 months. So it's like, for her to have, this growth and to see it, it's like, man, I can remember when you was in your mom's stomach. I can remember when you was born. I can remember when I gave you your first bottle. I can remember all that. And it just blows my mind to see the growth, because I've witnessed it before, but you're like my cousins and my little cousins and stuff, you see them grow up, but it's like, it's different when it's yours, and it's different when you watch them daily, and every little nuance and change. And, even in my music, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many songs I make that's dedicated to her,
Yep.
and I haven't made that many over the last, let's say, 2 years, because I'm not hurting anymore about that situation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so, with me not having to hurt over that situation, most of the I have one song. I have a song called Heart Shaped Diamonds on a Black Diamonds album I did back in July, that features her. She's on those songs. She's on a couple songs with me now. She's on. We did a Black Fatherhood album. Me, Apollo, and Speed did a Black Fatherhood album. Just kind of, something, just, Black fathers are important. You know what I mean? Like, Black fathers matter, and we always gonna matter. And so, we did an album like that, and I got baby girl on 2 songs, but she's on one song in the background, and she does a little I love my dad little thing on there too. So I like that, and she's on the World of True. I got a song called Zori's Love on the World of True. That's the last song on that album. It kind of like a throwback for me, going back to when I used to have Zori's song, and
Yep.
Zori this, Zori smile. So I was like, yeah, I did all those songs when I was going through the pain of I was dealing with. Like, now I ain't gotta go through it no more. So, like, let's celebrate. Let's celebrate this with a song. Let's celebrate these last 2 years with a song. Let's celebrate this like how much joy I feel, and how much, like, let's celebrate it. And that's pretty much what it is. And like I said, nothing nothing could describe the amount of love, like, I have for my child, and just how blessed and amazed I am to even just watch it. Like, watch her grow. It's crazy. And like I said, and just to have a bond we got, and how much we adore each other, how much she loves me, and so, yeah, man, as tough as the last few years of my life have been, uh, baby girl makes it all worthwhile. So.
Some real shit, man. Closing them out on some real shit. Well, I like to thank you for giving me the honor to conduct this interview with you. It was very insightful for myself, to learn a lot of things about you. Like I said, I knew snippets of it, a little bit of background noise, but it wasn't, you
Right.
know, I didn't really know the full story. So this was cool. Um, so just remind everybody, go cop go download, do whatever you need to do. Life is a movie. World of True coming soon. Tell them how they can get those
Um,
albums?
iTunes, Apple Music. If you want to stream it on Spotify, Tidal, you go buy it on Amazon. Bandcamp, those will be out on there. If you want to purchase it directly and then own it, you can go to Bandcamp and own it that way, or iTunes. Um, yeah, man. I feel like there's other streamers. There's like 35 streaming services that they got
It's a
my shit
lot.
on, and I like I can't remember all of them. Like, but yeah, man, every album I got is that. If you got Spotify, you got Apple, you got Tidal, you got any of that, you can just find True God, and I'm there, man. And you can find every album. And May 26th, which is my birthday, that's when the World of True drops. I'm dropping it on my birthday, and the Numbers album, like I said, with me, Apollo, and Speed, that drops Sunday. G Funk drops on Memorial Day. So, and if you want to hear some, you know what I'm saying, some doggy style, some chronic type shit, we definitely got a lot got a lot of that type of shit up there too. So, yeah, man, like I said, got a lot coming in the next couple weeks. So, everybody just be on the lookout. And I would give out my Twitter, but I'll probably be suspended by the time I post this anyway. So it's like, but in case I'm not, DAR True God is the new Twitter handle. Because I can't go back to True God Immortal because if I do, they're gonna suspend me again. So, so yeah.
Cool deal, man. Cool deal. Well,
I
hopefully
appreciate you, bro.
I can catch up, man. Yeah, like I said, it was an honor for me to do this, man. I hadn't really interviewed anybody in God like 14 years, in a long time. So uh try to dust some stuff off, and I asked everything I wanted to say, or ask, and we talked about all the topics I wanted to talk about. Got in some wrestling, got in some personal stuff, your music.
Yeah,
So I'm good, man. Best of luck to you and continued success. And it's been it's been really, fun. I haven't been there since the beginning, but you were only about a year or so into the game when I first started listening to you. So it's been very interesting watching you progress over these years. And again, the volume at which you produce stuff now is just mind-boggling. It's hard for me to to keep up with it. I mean,
I, and I
crazy.
just want to say the reason why I asked you is when me doing the World of True, I've been on this promo tour basically. I got a whole bunch of different, and every interview that I've done is different because these are different people who know me from different times in my life, different, and stuff like that, and some people who don't know me, So
Mm.
it's like I wanted to do something with people who've been there from some people who've been there from damn near the start, some people who know me from I just did one with my boy that I know since like middle school. He just sat down and interviewed me and like that too. So I want to give people who are listeners and stuff like that who finding new people finding my shit. Like, I want to give them insight, and I figure the people that can ask the right questions are people that actually know something about me. Or if you don't know everything, you're curious to know this or that. So I appreciate you, bro. I was gonna reach out to Billy too and ask him to be a part of it too. But I ain't I haven't seen Billy on Twitter in a minute, so because y'all
You're
was like yeah, like right around y'all was right around the same time, man. Like
Yeah.
I wanted to talk to him too because I seen him on IG. He posting his pictures of his daughter and stuff, and
Yeah.
I like she like that's crazy. That's crazy. Like I feel like we all like kind of
Grown up.
grown around
Yeah.
each other. You know what I'm saying? Like 9, 10 years, like watching people's like children grow up and
Yeah.
watching the different changes in people's lives, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I appreciate you, bro, because we're rocking
It was
for a
an honor,
minute.
man. Yeah, I know. It was an honor, man. I thank you for that. Like I said, I'm gonna be on the lookout for everything you got coming up, and hopefully I can keep pace, man. It's hard out here in these streets.
It's a lot, bro. It's a lot. I'm gonna slow down though, so I'm gonna slow down so everybody can catch up. Summertime, like I said, y'all ain't doing nothing this summertime. Please catch up to all the work, and please give me them streams because they don't pay us a lot. Them streams, but they don't pay not pay niggas a lot for that. But yeah, man, like I said, I really do appreciate it, man. This was dope for me, and I look at the time I see Blood and Guts is on right now, so you know what I'm saying. I'm gonna try to catch some of that. Try to catch some of that. And
Should be good.
yeah.
All
Yeah,
right, man.
no.
Well,
Fire. Gonna be fire. AEW is cooking right now, man. I give them credit. They cooking right now. I like what they doing right now.
no, I'm disturbed. I'm not gonna be at Double or Nothing this year. I was all set to go again in Vegas last year, and then I've obviously pandemic. So to sit at home to miss another WrestleMania, to miss another Double or Nothing, it's killing me. It's
And
killing me.
I bet, bro. Like I said, I'm outside. I'm outside, man. I'm gonna be outside these next year or two for these events. Like I missed out on a lot of manias that I could have came to, and you know
Oh,
I missed out on some Royal Rumbles. And I remember y'all would tell me like, man, yo, come through, and I'd be like, all right, I might come through, and I you
you
know I get sidetracked. I go see go see a shorty or something. I go do this, I go do that. We I might go out of town with somebody or something like that. And now I realize, like I said, life you know, you lose somebody that means everything to you. Life's walls kind of closing, and he's like, nah, let me do everything I wanted to do. Let me set out, and you know what I'm saying. I accomplished a lot in my life in terms of like dreams, and it's something I should have mentioned earlier. You know what I'm saying? Like I got to be a part of the wrestling business. I got to make music. I got to do this. You know what I'm saying? I'm writing a book on my life that's almost pretty much done. I got movie scripts that we've been working on with, you know, a couple of different writers right now that we trying to get you know off the ground. Like everything that I want to do, I'm gonna do. I got the finances to do it, resources to do it. I'm gonna fucking do everything I want to do. And that's like WrestleMania is happening. SummerSlam might happen. Like I said, if I can get to another AEW show, like we sit in the house for a year, it, it make you like you feel like you took everything for granted. Like oh man, WrestleMania always be there. This always be there. This always be there. Nah,
oh, you hit the nail
nah.
on the head, man. That's exactly how I feel. Like even with my people, man. I haven't been down to Maryland. Last time I saw my family was Thanksgiving 2019, and that's my fault.
Damn.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go down there
Yeah.
next week for my birthday, and well, Mother's Day Sunday, but I'm gonna go down next week for my birthday, kind of slash Mother's Day. First time I
Right.
see my peeps since 2019, but that's my fault. They're only 2.5 hours away. I can be down there whenever I want. I just, for whatever reason, whether it be gas is too much or the tolls are too much on 95, I just don't get down there like I should. But that's gonna change now. Pandemic taught me a lesson, so I'm gonna be down
Yeah.
the way a lot.
Hey man, I feel it, man. Like I say, you go see your peoples, man. Go see your peoples. If the people you care about and love, go see them. You know, go spend my. That's why when mom was here, I saw her as much as I could, like multiple times a week. Like I just want to be there. You know what I'm saying? You only a couple hours away. It's only a bop. Like shit, if you got a
Yep.
weekend free, you got you know what I'm saying? Get time free, go see them. You know what I'm saying? If you got events and stuff you want to go to, like I tell people, 2019, 2020, right before the pandemic hit, I was at every basketball game, baseball game, football game, wrestling. That's basically why I did, you know, WrestleMania 35 weekend. I did AEW stuff. Like every event, I started going to events more and more. And because I was tired of kind of waiting around, like, oh, they'll always be there. You know what I'm saying? I went to like 15 concerts in 3 months. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I was going to see, you know what I'm saying, Big Crit. I went to see Lil Brother. I went to see this, that. Like every concert, I was going to DC, VA, you know, Philly, anywhere I could go, I went. So, you know what I mean? Like I'm a big proponent of doing what you gotta do. You know what I'm saying? Make something happen. Make something happen, man. So I better see your ass at these events when they back open. I better see you because I'm gonna be at all these events. I'm telling you, I'm gonna be at every one of them. And I know you gotta
Yeah,
be at one of them. You better be at one of them.
we'll link up. I mean, we miss each other at AEW. I was down at Full Gear, as you know. We missed each other that night.
You know why? Because you went to the after party.
That shit was whack. But yeah, I did go. Yeah.
And it was funny. Me and Speed was literally at the door, about to go in, and I was like, I can't justify paying for paying to get in for this shit. Because I
No.
was actually asking you like, how was it? You was like, it's whack. I'm like, nah, I'm
Yeah,
cool,
it's
bro.
whack. Yeah, it was whack. I spent like $70. It was whack.
I
But
knew it was, man. Now if AEW had an after party now at like a future event, it might be jumping because it's different circumstances. They're bigger
yeah,
now. You
yep.
know, more people are into it, so like it's different. But when it first started out, I was like, I felt like I was like, hey, this is a bad idea. You know what I mean? Because even if you sell out 10,000, 15,000 seat arena, it's like it's still not popping enough. Now they're doing over 1 million a week, you know what I'm saying, here and there. You got a worldwide audience now, bigger audience who's paying attention. And you know what I'm saying? Like wrestling is a hard thing to do parties for anyway, because if it ain't no women there like that, I ain't in the party, man. So and
Yeah,
I could and
it
I
was a
know
sausage
damn well.
fest. It was
Yep.
not. it was not a good scene, man. It was not a good scene. So
Same thing with WWE parties too, man. Like the only WWE party that ever seemed like it has women in it might be Wale Mania, and that's the only
that
one
is
I've
true.
seen.
Yep,
And
that's
that's
true. Yeah,
and that's because niggas running that. Like that's wild.
yeah.
Like you got
And
yeah, like you got,
and the chicks are only there to see Wale. They're not wrestling fans.
they're
They're
not
only there
wrestling
to see
fans.
Wale.
Exactly.
So
Yeah. So yeah, but I might. I ain't gonna do Wale Mania next year if it happen. I ain't doing that next year. Everybody know I ain't doing nothing with Wale. I ain't doing none of that. I
yeah,
ain't doing none of that.
whole nother
But I will. But
episode.
I will do the after parties and stuff like that. And if it's in Dallas, you can say you got to be in Dallas, bro. You got to come to Dallas, man.
I won't be.
Dallas
I won't be there. Nope. Not
can
doing.
do Dallas.
I've already done it. Not doing it again. I've done it
I
twice. Well, I did it for
20.
New
You
Japan. I went
you did for
2016, and I went.
25, right?
Yeah, I went to. I
Or
went
30
to
was it
30,
30? Was it 32?
32.
32, yeah, 32, yeah.
32. Yeah, I went to 32. Then I went back down there in 2019 for the G1. So
Oh yeah, oh yeah, the G1, yeah, yeah.
yeah, so I've had enough. And plus, I mean, like if I went down there, it would just be to go to everything else but Mania, because I'm not giving Jerry Jones my money again. So like
Yeah, I understand. I
I'm not giving him my money again. So it's like I either gonna go down and do everything and come back home Sunday, or I'm gonna go to Disney World and take my daughter to Disney World. That's probably what's gonna be a play. So
No, I get it. I get it. Yeah, it makes sense. Hey, that makes sense, man. Hey, look, I get it. But for me, like I said, I got some homies down there in Dallas. I got
go
some
for it.
shorties I know that you know what I'm saying. So, but I'm gonna catch you. You gonna be at one of these events. I'm gonna find
I'll
out.
be
I'm gonna find
around.
out where you at.
No, yeah, as soon as we back hot and heavy, I will be back out in these streets. Believe that. Believe that.
Sure, for
So,
sure, for sure. I'm gonna
all right,
holler at
brother.
you, man. I appreciate you, bro.
Yep, no problem, man. It was good talking to you.
For sure.
All right, see you.